I always think of my records as a roller coaster ride, and I usually take you in dark corners and stuff. But this record's just pretty much a downhill screamer, and it's just it's over with, and you want to hear it again. So I made it that way. I wanted it to be a quick, fast kill, like in a B movie, and I think I succeeded.
What's up, everybody? It's Keefy from GhostColdMan.com. I am thrilled to welcome back in Wednesday 13, the Duke of Spook. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being back. We I just mentioned offline, we interviewed in person at Irving Plaza in the before times on that epic great tour you guys did, and it was quite a fun and great tour. Several albums later and a whole global shutdown after, you continue
Yeah.
to thrive and be prolific and tour constantly. Much respect, because a lot of people couldn't even work after everything shut down. So I'm in awe of how much material you've put together and out and how much touring you've done. I hope you're well, and I hope everybody in your crew is well.
Yeah, man, it's been a crazy couple of years for everybody in the world. I just made the best out of a bad situation, and and this new album is sort of my revenge on that horrible time. The record I put out coming out of COVID, my last record, Horrifier, which I enjoy. I just didn't enjoy the recording process. I didn't enjoy the time when I was writing it. It was just it's a dark record in my mind when I think back to it. And I didn't come out 100%. I don't think anybody came out of COVID 100%. And so this album for me is sort of a revenge. It's sort of a something I needed to do. And so that's why I'm so excited for it. I put so much work into it, and I think it shows.
Right on. And listen, no one, everybody has that one selfishly dark and introspective record in their career. I think that's universal. Sometimes it's every record if that's the kind of artist you are. We can't all be Nick Cave, but
Right,
the new
right.
record is Mid Death Crisis, coming out on Napalm Records, and it is full of fun and full of bangers and really pumped me up, made me smile. There's a lot of sing-alongs that I can just envision most of this record going over huge live and fans singing along to verses and choruses. And I'm just so pumped for you to put this out.
Thank you. I think so. I think like you said, I think this feels like a almost it's not a doesn't sound like a live record, but the mentality of it, even the way the record ends, it ends like a live show. I ended it the way I would end one of my live shows. So the beginning of this record and the ending of the record was it was all thought of, it was all thought out. And but I wanted it to be a fun house ride, so to speak. I always think of my records as a roller coaster ride, and I usually take you in dark corners and stuff, but this record's just pretty much a downhill screamer, and it's just it's over with, and you want to hear it again. So I made it that way. I wanted it to be a quick, fast kill, like in a B movie, and I think I succeeded.
Right on. So much to unpack. You and I have talked before about, listening habits, and we're about, similar ages and how we grew up listening to albums. And I love that this is, a fully sequenced and thought out and thoughtful album. I still listen to whole albums. I like singles, I appreciate videos, but I really want to hear the whole album. And so that's important to me. I know it's important to you as a person that makes music and cares about music. So I love that this thing is strong all the way through too.
Yeah, I mean everything. With me, I'm a I grew up in the in the 80s when packaging and everything was what everybody that's all they had. There was, you had music video, but you didn't have the social media thing that we have these days. So it's so much more than the music when it comes to me. The music's always first, and but there's just so much thought into the album cover and the artwork, and just everything just has to be what I created in my head. And to get that out of my head and physically have it, and which I do now, I'm able to hold that, and it's such a reward to get this out of my head, and the songs and the all of this is it's finally here. And that's why I took such pride in making this artwork and the album cover as I'm showing you off here. I mean, it's a 24-page booklet. It's got everything. It's the phone book of album layouts, and it's it's good, man. I'm really happy with everything how it's turned out. And it's the first record I don't think I made a mistake on the spelling of it yet that I haven't caught.
I mean, those happen. Listen, I'm a
Every
writer, and
record, every
yeah,
single record, but I haven't
yeah.
caught one on this one yet. But not saying it's not on there. I just said I haven't caught it yet.
Right on, no worries. I had that Slipknot record a few years ago where they changed the title at the last second and just put a sticker on it, and I had pre-ordered it, so just
Cool.
because as this fan, I just pre-ordered it, and I was like, oh, maybe it'll be worth a lot of money. Nope, no one cares.
For that,
There was a
they changed
jillion
it
of them.
last minute. They changed the name last
I
minute.
think they changed the album name last minute from it was supposed to be The End So Far, and
Oh, right,
they changed it to like something similar, but
right. Okay.
uh whatever, they can do whatever they want. But I love that you talked about artwork because you're just always helping me with my segues.
Yes.
We're in a weird time where I not that artwork isn't valued or artists aren't valued, but you've always put such a huge emphasis on just creativity and your aesthetics and everything, just visually yourself, your artwork, your live show. And artwork is still really important to me. And like, I get it that budgets are tighter than ever. And I have a follow-up question about touring in a second. I know that budgets are tight, but I don't want to see, I want to keep seeing a Wednesday 13 brilliant album cover like this. I don't, not you or anyone in particular, but I don't want to see them all go the way of AI. You know, I get that it's a good tool, but I wanted to get your take on that because you have worked with such great artists and you yourself, this is important. Your creative vision is important to you. So I wanted your take on that a little bit.
Again, with anything, I mean, I've been doing this for such a long time now. I have a perspective on, before the internet fully kicked in, all this downloading stuff, it wasn't there when Murder Dolls started. It wasn't a small, but it wasn't the way it is now. There wasn't Spotify, there wasn't YouTube. I think YouTube, what came in 2005, 2004, maybe. I'm not even quite sure. But all these things came in as a threat to some people at some point. Oh, how does this, but we've adapted to it. And now that's part of the tool. AI is the same way. It's the same way with like for me, I'm a product of the 1980s. I love the special effects from The Thing with John Carpenter. I love those practical effects. I don't like CGI, but that's the way all movies are now. And it's no different to me CGI versus AI when the product's all done because it's not something that I mean I guess someone is manipulating and doing it there, so there is some human involvement into it. But I don't try to knock these things and go, oh, back in the day. No, I try to adapt to all this stuff. I don't personally need AI for anything for what I'm using right now. I don't need it, but for some people maybe they do. I always think of AI outside of the music realm. When people go, I'm thinking about me 10 years from now when I need a bionic arm or something. And I'm like, yes, AI, bring it on. I'm not thinking about someone replacing Johnny Cash's voice over a Nirvana song and going, this isn't real. I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so AI is gonna, you got to adapt to it. Yes, it's scary and if that you could think people would just not want to put that much thought into it, but you're always going to have artists that want to do that. I mean, I think AI is for when it comes to music and that kind of stuff, it's for lazy people.
So
For
well noted.
for
Yeah.
right now, it's late. I would say it's laziness. It's a
Yeah.
it's a quick tool to use for bands, but and you said the term bands, budgets are tight. Being in a rock band, budgets have always been tight since the beginning of, it's you got to have these things to make it work. And for me, it's about physical product and hiring a real artist who drew this from scratch, and showed me the drawing. He didn't just show me this and go, oh, there it is, it's done. It was like, no, he showed me a sketch and then it went into the art and then it went to this. And that's a great feeling to see it created that way. I maybe the fans don't see it that way sometimes, but I always will. So it's always going to be there with what I put out.
Yeah, I'm not fearful of technology at all. We've always been Ghost Cult. We're kind of technology forward as a brand, me and my partner. But
Right.
yeah, just don't pay artists and use artists and do that, please.
It's the same with recording. I mean,
Yeah,
there's so many recording studios that have shut down that were amazing. People record at home now. So it's just a different name, a different way of just, but again, I don't need it right now for what I do. But some people do.
yeah, fair enough. I love that. again, I want to talk about this record and this music. And I know that you kind of circled the wagons and kind of took the reins completely on this album. It was highlighted in the publicity notes. Thank you to Adam Splitter PR and Napalm Records. So, was a definite choice by you to just kind of guide the whole process this time and not collaborate as much? Is that the central idea here?
I mean, I'm always the director of putting it together. When Wednesday 13 first started off, there was no band. It was me. It was Murder Dolls on a hiatus, me in my basement going, all right, I don't want to go back to my day job. This was too good. And I knew I had a 2 year wait for Slipknot to tour and put that album out. So I started writing music. And I started writing in what would be Wednesday 13 or what I was ever going to call it, just started writing new music. I didn't have a band. I did demoed everything, did the drums, bass, guitar, everything in the demos of that form. But by the time, that was 2003, 2004. But by the time 2011, 2012 came around, my band had went through so many different lineups, and I had a band that I had pretty much had for 3 or 4 years at that point now, and it was a solid lineup, and we were connecting as a band better, and so I started freeing up the guitar parts. All right, you guys handle the guitar parts now, for the recording. I'm still writing stuff, but handle the guitar. So I just started. It became more of a group effort when it came to recording the records. But on the last year, our guitarist, our longtime guitarist Ramon parted ways with the band. So he was a crucial part of our sound over those last few records. So I knew I had to go back to scratch, how I did in the beginning, and that was okay for me. I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to see if I could do that again. So it was really important for me to do that. I could have collaborated with my guys, but I told them, I was like, look. I was like, and they understood. I was like, this is important for me to see if I could do this the way I did it in the beginning, because I wonder if it'll sound the same if I do it the same way. And when I was done with all the music and I can listen to this record now, I feel like it's got a lot of the guts of that first, the way I started, because that's the way I did it. I got a drum in my head. I got a drum beat in my head. I write these songs. I get it all together, and then I go, "All right, guys, play this, do this." And I direct, and so it was good to be back in the full driver's seat, running all the. I was Han Solo. I was operating my the Millennium Falcon. I had our producer Alex Kane there as my second set of ears to help guide me through it, and it was an excellent experience. I had the best time recording it, and I haven't had that experience in a while. The last few records have been like pulling teeth. It's like going to the dentist, and this album was exact opposite. I couldn't wait to get into the studio.
Right on. I don't think fans actually appreciate excuse me, appreciate how important it needs to be for you to continue to love doing this. Because if you lose the love, it's going to show and you're not going to want to do this. You'll want to move on to something else. So I think it's important that you're able to find that joy again in the studio and translate it to the record. Like I said, it's all bangers and it sounds like a throwback Wednesday 13 record. Have you, before I ask a few more music questions, have you decided to permanently replace Ramon, or is it going to be a touring situation, a tour guitarist?
As of right now, I mean, Ramon's not in the band, so he's been even when he left last year. It was, I don't try to air our laundry in the public too much. He was moving overseas, and it just worked out this way. We wish him the best. We're still friends. But yeah, he's so Ashes is our guitarist now. He worked really hard in the studio with us on this. He was there almost every day with me tracking with this, and we got a really cool. She brought a new energy to the band. It was, it's crazy to think Wednesday 13 is 20 years old this year, and, I was able to have Ramon on board for a very long time. We made some killer music. So, but this is the new chapter, which sounds oddly like the old chapter.
In the best possible way. In the best
Yeah,
possible way.
I think
Hail the
too.
new flesh. Here we go.
Yeah. Yes.
And again, also, such a big fan of your vocals over time. You've had so many catchy, great vocal stylings. This is maybe my favorite vocal performance from you.
Me too.
I really think like you knocked it out. And again, like I said, listening back to this, I can envision like whole crowds of people singing to these songs, not just the single. I want to hear like these deep cuts played live eventually and have
You.
people jam along.
Me too. And the singles don't necessarily reflect what I think are the best songs. I know oddly enough, I don't think in anymore like going, oh, I'm gonna have a radio hit. I don't ever think about that. I think about demographics of people. Our first single, When the Devil Commands, I knew my diehard fans would like that for the most part. But I'm always looking for that person in the back of the room with his arms crossed, maybe had to come there with his girlfriend and see the band, and I'm looking to move their head. And I knew that riff of that song would get your head doing this. I've seen it, I've watched it. I was sneaking that riff in on the demo or the pre-mixed version of this, and I watched a few people in my crew start doing this. I'm like, I got you on that riff. And then and the second single, In Misery, which is the one that comes out in a couple weeks, that one's catered like on a silver platter to my fans. Visually, it's going to look like November Rain for Wednesday 13th. It's just very cinematic. We made it snow in a graveyard in California. It's amazing. But back to what you were saying, these singles, these songs, all these songs on this record, I thought about it from a live point of view. I always put myself opposite of where I normally am. I'm in the crowd. I want to be that fan watching, going, could I sing along to this? And I analyze the music from both sides of the stage like that. It's important for me to, and I think all of these songs, like you said, they sound like they could be live hits. I imagine the crowd singing them. And this is the first record where I had a difficult time picking the singles and choosing because I feel like I have video ideas almost for every single song. And they all to me sound like something I would put out as a first single, every single song. And it was driving me crazy. And I just went, these are the three. I'm doing it. These are the first three. And now I'm locked into it. Although I'm glad I did because I would have changed my mind a million times and the label would have hated my guts.
The music business will give you a calendar and you have to stick to it. I know that.
Yes. I'm
I
glad
feel
they did because I would have
yeah,
changed my mind because I every day I'm like, oh, I think I like this song better. I like this song better.
they have to wrangle you in.
Yeah.
Speaking of record labels, Napalm, I feel like they've done a really fine job with you. Do they give you like you have complete creative control and say? Are they partners? Are you in charge of do you drive that
I'm
ship
in charge
also?
of everything.
Yeah.
Honestly, they didn't know what I was turning in. I had a deadline. I had to turn it in. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking back now because I had this all. I've been a crazy person for the last 2.5 months, I feel like. So I had to turn it in January 6th, and I was a week late. I turned it in January 12th, and they hadn't heard one song. They didn't know what it was called. They didn't know what it was going to look like. And on January 12th, I went, boom, here's everything. And they were like, awesome. And then I met my product A&R guy with the label. I have a new person this time, a dude named Sydney, who's killer. He's familiar with the band. He told me he was even in a band that covered Wednesday 13 back in the day. So I was like, good, you know what I do. And but other than that, they didn't know. I handed them what I put out. But once we start setting up promo for the record and how we're going to release it and how we're going to present it to the public, then it becomes a team effort. And I've had a blast with them so far. I didn't have this connection on the last record because, again, coming out of COVID, I don't think I was more as personable as I am now. So yeah, I got a really strong team working on this record, and they all like the record too. They all said that in the very beginning, and I never heard them say that before. Like I know they, it's part of the job working on the label. Like, oh, they got to work these albums, but for them to actually enjoy the record, I think it makes it better. It has to make it better.
I think you can kind of tell if someone's just kind of doing their job and telling you, "Oh, babe, we love this," or if they really enjoy it and have a depth of
Right.
understanding of what you're shooting for. Most of the people I know in the business, they keep it real. They have to. They can't. They can't
Yeah, I mean,
front to their
that's how I
artists
run
and
it
be
with people.
noticeable.
You gotta be honest with people, and sometimes I know they're being honest because they don't say they like the record. Cool, you're doing this. Here's your all right, cool. You like this? Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you like it? I need to hear this.
Yeah, imagine that Napalm probably has like 400 artists at any one time and probably like
But no,
100
I'm
plus.
really exactly. I'm happy with them. I think they're happy with what I do, and also I'm not one of those jaded people that go, I'm on a record label, do everything for me. No, they've got to specific thing they do, and I got a specific thing that I do, and I know I have to go out and promote this record and talk about it and take it on tour and bring it to life and have the merchandise and all. It's just a lot of people think you get signed and you sit back and they do all the work. And that's not how you're successful. It's all work, but you need a team to do it. And I'm happy with my team I have right now.
Right on. Appreciate hearing that. And I'm sure they'll like knowing that too. One other, I want to give you a little credit on this also is that we were given the lyrics, which often
Oh,
I don't get the lyrics. And I'm a
really?
lyrics guy. I was a singer in a band, Marge, I'm a singer in a band again somehow at this late age. And lyrics matter to me. And I like getting them. And I tell my reviewers, like, I know it's easy to just focus on music and production and performance, but it's real important to listen to lyrics. And I
Mhm.
know a lot of vocals are kind of Cookie Monster vocals, but you care about lyrics, you care about singing, and I appreciate you sharing them. Just personally, thank you, because it helps my listening experience to read along while I'm listening. I think the fans too.
Yeah, I mean, I always care about my lyrics, and I never take them too seriously. And like I'm sitting around for weeks writing this stuff. It's usually a very quick process, and then at the very end, I clean it up and change a word here or there. But usually, it's quick. I write in a very nursery rhyme type of way, and that's sort of been my thing. Over the last few records, I definitely experimented and tried some different things, and but this, I went back, like I said, to where it started, and it just naturally came out that way. I was so happy to know I could still do that. And yeah, what you were saying about my voice earlier, like I think it's my best vocal performance. I've learned how to sing over the last couple of years. It's taken me all this time to learn how to control what I do, and now I can control it, and I'm able to do different. My low voice is almost as strong as my high voice that I could only do before, and I don't know how it's working, but I'm enjoying what I do. I think I've gotten better with age. Some bands don't age that way. I think I'm going in reverse. We were okay in the beginning, and now we're pretty good now. 47 members later.
We're gonna Benjamin Button this thing as we as we go.
Pretty
Uh,
much.
reverse order. Just a couple more for you, man. You're so great. I appreciate you. Huge tour coming up, both the States and abroad.
Mhm.
And obviously got to get the set list together. How many new songs can people expect to hear? And I'm sure you're pumped. These are some extensive touring for the next few months for sure.
Yeah, it's 36 shows in America, and then a couple in Canada, and then we have a small break before we go into Europe. Right now, I have a list of songs. My band has been, everyone goes home and works on their stuff, and then we get together for about a week and we rehearse here. So Sunday we start rehearsing for the tour. Um, but for this, it was so hard to make a set list because I'm including 20 years of Wednesday 13 music, which is the new album as well, and then you got Murder Dolls, and trying to make an hour and 20-minute set of those songs, it was impossible. And I started off taking one off each record, and then I'm like, this doesn't, it was the seesaw wasn't, it was too much of this, and it wasn't balanced. So I went, you know what? I'm just going to zone in on the time. I'm gonna do the Transylvania 90210, all the songs I want to play. I'm not playing the album in its entirety. I'm not playing it in order, but I'm playing a good bulk of it. And then we've got sort of a best of Murder Dolls set that we kind of throw in there. I still haven't got it exactly figured out how I'm going to do it. And then we'll be playing the three new singles off the album, which will When the Devil Commands. And then the next two will be In Misery and No Apologies is the next single. So you'll hear those live. And then I've got a few oldie but goodies in the set, like Rambo, and a couple off the first. But I'm really sticking the first three records. I've really made it only those three records and the new one. Everything else, you'll have to wait till the next tour.
Right on. Thank you for continuing to play these Murder Dolls songs. I'm so glad they're back in kind of,
Me too.
the air, the ether. They're back in the space for live music, not just the big tours the last couple of years. But I'm really glad you're keeping. You absolutely should please keep the Murder Dolls stuff in the
Well,
set
if
as long as you want to.
I want to say the thing I kind of compared it to, or what I'm trying to sort of compare it to, or just get the same vibe, or get the same vibe that I got when I was at the show. When I went to see Danzig play, when he had Doyle out with him doing the Misfit before the Misfits were back together. And to be honest with you, I'm not the craziest big Misfits fan. I usually take Danzig solo higher than Misfits. That's kind of how the way I discovered it. I went backwards listening to those bands. But I remember going to see Danzig, and I was really excited to see Danzig, and the crowd was totally into it. And then when that skull came down and Doyle came out, it was so cool. It was just I felt it in the audience, and it really wasn't so much me. Like I was just I felt the energy there. And when I did these recent Murder Dolls songs, I felt that energy with the crowd, and it reminded me of that. And I went, well, what if I just from this point forward, I can maybe just include a little best of Murder Dolls where we just pop it in the set and just try to and that's what we're doing on this. So it's a test market for the US to see if it works out. But I think I know it's going to work. It's not really a test. You can't fail with those songs.
As the Brits say, you can't gild a lily. So you can't, yeah, it can't be any more perfect. Really quick, last question, because if I don't ask this question, I'm a failure. I didn't think anybody could love G.I. Joe possibly more than me, but you might take the cake. Do you have a favorite figure from all the figures behind you in the case or on the shelf there? Absolute favorite.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. Let's see here. Not make the domino effect. My two favorite, I mean, this is my of all bad guys, you gotta have, I mean, the Cobra Commander. You got your these two. This is my childhood right here. So you got your hooded mail order Cobra Commander only, and then the OG. But these are two of my favorites. Always the bad guys were always my favorites, even as a young kid. But yeah, these are my favorites, and that'd be the two that I just picked out. But all the Dreadnoks, Zartan would be the next guy. I could keep going, but there's a
Zartan
lot.
is crazy.
There's a
Zartan
lot of
goes so
killer, a
crazy.
lot of killer good guys. I'm seeing Snake Eyes. You got Mutt, Junkyard, Wild Bill, Spirit. I could go on. I can name GI Joes the way I can name '80s hair metal guys the same way. I can tell you if there's ever a game show that requires that knowledge, man.
With Will Ferrell as Alex Trebek as the hostmaster. I mean, honestly, Cobra Commander and Axl Rose, Appetite for Destruction, Axl Rose, never in the same place at the same time.
Never.
Vocally, I mean, really, Axl, if you're listening, if you need some voiceover work, there's going to be some GI Joe stuff out there for you eventually.
True.
Wednesday, 13. Always so great to see you. I'm so appreciative of your time. And again, I look forward to seeing you live again and in person. We'll chop it up. And I just really appreciate you. You've been a good supporter of us. We've tried to support you right back. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.